This is the WGL March qualifier. This is points up for grabs. All 4 players are qualified for the Pro Division. This is PCG versus Lin Guagua. Afterwards, Soin versus 15 Sway. We got some talents to scout here. My man, Lin Guagua, making it through the round of 32 into this very semifinal. Looking forward to this, and of course, this might be a biased cast by myself because his opponent is PCG123, and you know how much I like that guy.
Yeah, just looking at the names, I was wondering if there could be a more one-sided cast by you in terms of favoritism. Like,
really?
maybe Krav versus Razorman, but it's hard. It's hard to get on this level.
Yeah, okay, yeah, if I'm a little biased here, then, excuse me, I'm having a rough week. PCG, I casted one of his games in the open qualifier round of 32 or round of 16, I think. Not as clowny as one would think, but lots and lots of banshees involved. It was quite fun. And Lin Guagua, Insub called him the most annoying player on W3 Champions.
I can kind of understand why, dude. He plays a lot of hit and run. He plays a lot of shockwave, build and kill. He plays a lot of, at least on ladder, liquid fire bad riders. You know, Not everyone enjoys that style. Tom does, but not everyone.
Yeah, if he's torturing PCG with it, I'm totally fine as well. Farseer Grunt opening, putting some damage on the DK right away, but gotta be careful with that said Grunt. No speed scroll. Oh, of course, that's a coil, that's a kill. Oh, what? It's actually not PCG! Denied by Lin Guagua. I was about to say Remo style, but not that much praise yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, it feels so good killing the first or second grunt of the orc. Really cripples him immensely. But pretty big mistake by PCG there, allowing himself to get fogged around the tree line. Normally you should kind of always expect it and play against it. And that's level 2 denied. That's kind of a big deal. 2 more grunts coming in from the main for Lin Guagua. Where were those before, I wonder? Maybe he kind of forgot about them. But yeah, level 2 against level 2 here now. And the Farseer will start to fall off later on. Normally you want to play an expansion with the Farseer, but Lin Guagua not interested in expanding. He's aggressive on the enemy side of the map.
Oh yeah, stealing that sweet Ogre Magi with the wolves, not donating them away to PCG Circlet. Just to confirm, this best of 5, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I haven't casted a WGL qualifier final for so long. Probably half a year, so I kind of forgot. We got the first bestiary up and a Warmill. This looks rather standard.
Forces are under attack.
Yeah, with this being Guagua, I wouldn't have been too surprised at double bestiary for Raiders or Wind Riders or something like that. But we don't even have a second hero.
Yeah.
Now, I played against a Chinese orc player on WC Champions a while ago, and he was laming with Farseer only, and with mass air hit and run all the time. But it was not Lin Guagua. What I'm trying to say is this a popular style in China nowadays?
I don't know.
Maybe it's not. We see the TC coming out now, but that is quite delayed.
Yeah, prioritizing Raiders and Warmill over the second hero. Maybe he just forgot or the hotkey didn't really click. We'll see. Decent position for PCG. He's getting harassed. It's super annoying, but he's not taking any big hits. So all looking kind of good and healthy. On the other side, Slaughterhouse is coming. Tier 3 a little delayed, but the Lich is out and the Tier 3 starts. So PCG, not many flaws after that initial grunt miss, I guess. And no cheese at all from him. What's up? He's taking things seriously now?
Yeah, no nonsense from either side so far, really. PCG should also realize what's happening here soon. He's seeing the Farseer solo harassing. He hasn't seen any of the other units for quite some time, so he knows the second hero of the Orc must be creeping, and very often that will mean a TC and an expansion attempt. This has not yet been properly scouted by PCG, but it's not that big of a map, Last Refuge. We have lots of creeps here, but it's not that big, especially your own base towards the opponent's natural. That distance is very short, so attacking an expansion, especially one that's being produced, can easily be attacked and cancelled.
Indeed. TC decides to go for Aura first as there's no fight inside. I actually support that choice for once. So this will be level 2 in a couple of seconds. Farseer has no selves anymore, so he has to be careful of Coil Nova. Pretty squishy dude. And PCG is getting the second consumable here as well. Not bad. Okay,
yeah, that's a big deal. At least Lin Guagua would love to make this expensive with Fiend kills, but he's not getting those. The burrow is working out well. And now comes the statue, and oh my god, the value.
The value, indeed! Coil Nova dodges the coil with a TP. Greater mana found for the Lich as well. Great moments for PCG, and with the amount of Fiends, he can creep super fast up to level 4-3 now.
Yeah, that would take a little bit of time, but could be possible. Still, Skeletons active, still a lot of Necromancy there. No scouting towards the expansion yet. Expo is coming, a little less than halfway done. And it's gonna be scouted here now. There's two choices for PCG. He could either attack it, trying to cancel, but that's kind of dangerous now, as he knows the Orc has a lot of Ensnare. If his scouting had been better earlier on, it would have been easier of a cancel, but now that it's so late, PCG may want to wait for it to finish and then come in with a push. And with that, there is a chance suddenly for Lin Guagua to win this game. It was looking really bad before, but if he holds the big attack at the expansion, he can win this game. But first, he must make sure he doesn't get cancelled, but perhaps it will.
Oh, Dark Ranger moves back to get the orb. This will be missing in the first initial fight. Oh, maybe PCG has to fight without the orb if Lin Guagua is aggressive now with a level 3 TC, with level 2 wolves as well. First Headhunters against air. The Kodo is there to boost damage, but good retreat. Covers everything. No losses against the Raider and Ensnare. It was... pains me to say it, Remo. That was well done by PCG.
Yeah, so far not a single unit going down for PCG. Only thing he's really missing is level 3 Lich, and then he would be looking really strong. He has both mana items on the DK. I feel like that's overkill. He's never gonna run out of mana and use all these items. Would love to see that big mana potion on the Lich instead. But here we go. Cyclone right away on the DK with the Wand of the Wind. Wonderful stomp. Breaks out of the silence with the Invul Potion. The TC is gonna land another magnificent stomp right here. The Fiends are not being moved, but good Invul timing there as well by the Undead. There's the Wand of the Wind charges now gone, and the DK can finally start coiling again. Going for the TC, he's dropping low. Heal scroll is there though, but again the burrow's coming in. There is a dust. Lin Guagua needs to use it.
Yeah, it could be dangerous. TC walks all the way around. Hits him with another stomp, but the DK can still coil whatever he wants. 46 supply left for Lin Guagua. Here's the dust, and now this wreaks havoc on the Fiends, or should be. Switches the target to the Lich, but there's also another coil, and he didn't even use the mana items yet. Raider about to go down. Kodo about to go down. This is not looking pretty for Lin Guagua, as the Raider falls as well.
Nova flies, another coil could be used, big mana potion, boom! Gets that Headhunter as well. Still has both charges of Wand of the Wind. On the DK was hard to use earlier, as he was cycloned most of the time. Going for an Invul now as well, and the game is looking really good now for PCG. Lin Guagua with a small army didn't get the necessary numbers with his expansion. If you're playing tier 2 Orc with TC Farseer expanding, you need to be up by at least 10 supply, more like 15 supply. And this Expo was just seemingly a little too late.
In the level 4 on the DK, Lin Guagua stemming against the defense. TC coming in, got a mana potion, so... yeah, that's his biggest weapon, the Stomp, but there's no Invul Potion, so what can he do against the Silence? Just, wait, I guess. Level 3 Lich. Oh boy, the nukes were great already, and now they intensify. Stomp was good. Fiends again, a little clumped up. Coil was used before. Mana, big mana potion used. Last dust coming in. And yeah, now he can play so well with the Fiends. Oh, one goes down last second, but I don't think that will matter in the end. No chance to kill a hero here without the additional firepower. The coils are mostly on point. Level 2 on the Dark Ranger with skeletons now that can be eaten. Destroyer falls, but there is a backup destroyer. Given the fact that he has barely any units in this fight, Lin Guagua is doing decent, but also the TC, no mana, burned through his natural mana, as well as the potion, and now there's nothing to fear for him anymore.
Yeah, simply outscaled. Coil Nova finishes the Farseer that should trigger the GG. It feels like nowadays like in any matchup, winning with tier 2 against tier 3 seems so hard.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but really hard. You need to get a big advantage early on, whether it be through kills or through early economy, then you can do it. But if the game is even for so long, the tier 3 upgrades are just so powerful, seemingly, these days, that it's hard to win those games anymore in this day and age. But Lin Guagua is not giving up yet. He's making more raiders. Wyvern, I'm waiting for the pillage.
Yeah, could be. Maybe a bad rider here and there for some siege damage as well. He's actually trying to hold this expo or to reinstate the peon line, but yeah, the Dark Ranger and the minions, they will clear this after a certain time. That's the last hope, maybe, that Lin Guagua gets like Chain Lightning 2 and Lame.
It's really smart how PCG is doing this, by the way. Seeing that the Orc isn't yet the expansion and is not defending, he knows the Orc must be creeping. So he's not just killing the Expo, which would be sort of a waste of time, would take him like a minute or so. Instead, he is creeping as well to make sure his levels are also very strong. And he's setting the skeletons there to ensure that there's no creeping and no mining happening. So this is some really good play that PCG is showing here, and it feels like these two have met a lot on the ladder before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm paying my respect as well, PCG. This is not what I expected. I thought, I don't know, 4 Ghoul Rush or something. Beastmaster first Hawk, you know, we did that before. But okay, fighting for the mercenary cap now. Still only 3-3 heroes against 4-4-3. Plus 4 intelligence, baby. Gatling Gun Lich with 2 gloves and medallion. Maybe he could just fight with the Lich alone and win this.
Yeah, the undead hero level is so strong at this point. 4-4-3. Even if the Orc has 20 more supply at this stage, it's almost impossible to deal with these undead heroes. Yeah. Eating the skeletons, getting the mana, the DK, so much movement. Surprisingly, he went for Death Pact, which normally we don't see when there's no Blade Master involved. But it's a bit of security, I suppose. The expansion will finally be taken out. I think the TC got the item. Yeah, it was the robe, but
he got the experience as
well. Sad inventory. He's got a robe and nothing else.
Well, at least it looks good, I guess, or would look good. In our imagination, it does. Great Hall at 50. This cannot be repaired anymore. Skeletons move across. And yeah, we're just waiting for the GG, I guess. Invo Potion on PCG. Oh, dodges the end snare. He was just waiting for that. Sweet plays, PCG. Yeah, 5-4-3. I mean, that's lights out.
Yeah, Lin Guagua, he had been on a tear recently with a lower bracket in the first round and the second round group stage. He was 6 wins in a row without dropping a map. But here now, he's going to drop the first map indeed. As now we might see the last fight of this game. I mean, DK level 5. This Farseer can be happy that he's not being looked at, because if he's looked at and sneezed at, he's going to die. Mana is low for PCG, but damage is almost non-existent for the Orc.
Yeah, even Chain Lightning 2 doesn't do the job at this stage. Reveal use, Destroyer coiled last second as well. Now, this is a Farseer on a silver platter. And of course, the Lich gets it. Heals self on the ground. Doesn't really help him anymore. Double G's and the 1-0 for PCG.
Yeah, very straight up game. Last Refuge is a pretty decent undead map, I would say. Pretty good, actually. For that reason, we see a lot of Farseer Headhunters, which on that map can work out very well. Playing Farseer Tier 2 Expo is really tough on this map. It's not easy to get proper levels with the grunts early on. The expansion is really close to your opponent. The timing is going to hit you soon. So I'm very surprised that we saw that strategy. Playing Blade Master Standard is doable here, but it's hard to pull off properly with good creep routes. But Farseer Headhunters, as I said, is good here. It seems like Farseer Tier 2 Expo is the weakest of all strategies. But Lin Guagua tried it. It didn't work out, but this is the best of 5. He's got plenty of chances to come back.
Yeah, how much does it hurt you that he opens with Farseer Grunts and not Farseer Headhunter?
I think Farseer Grunts can work out if you play it really well against almost everybody. But Happy and 1-0 are going to destroy you and going to rob your will to live. But against everyone else, it can work if you play it well.
Okay. Then I'm really surprised that no one really is sticking to their cliche strategies, like not laming on Lin Guagua's side, not doing any foolish clownery on PCG's side. That's promising. Promising first game.
Of course, we only have one map veto here in this pool, which normally should mean Orcs vetoing AZ. We don't have the info on this. We're going to have to guess and see what maps we get. But normally that means Orcs veto AZ and Undeads veto Twisted Meadows in the old map pool. But of course, in WGL, we don't have that anymore. We have Turtle Rock. So that could be a veto, although lots of Undeads still love playing Turtle Rock. I kind of see that as a mistake sometimes, because I think that map is also really good for Orc, especially with red camp creeps early on tier 2 and so on. And of course, my beloved Watch Awards. But we'll see where we go. Lin Guagua, if he wants to play this Farseer tier 2 Expo style again, there's 2 very good maps for that, and that's Concealed Hill and Echo Isles. So if he wants to stay with that strategy, maybe that's where we're going to go next.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is the last qualifier. With this map pool, next episode in April, if everything goes well, we're gonna have a new situation that we haven't had before in Warcraft 3. We have a 9-map map pool as we add Autumn Leaves and Tidehunter to the mix, and 2 additional vetoes, I guess. This is how it's gonna go.
Yeah. 2 additional vetoes, and also you can switch your races in a series, with a caveat that you have to announce which race you're going to play on which map before the vetoing starts. But there could be a lot of wildness happening. Pretty interesting what WGL is doing. I'm a little bit worried that we're going to see a lot of clowning around happening, but we're going to see how it goes.
What?
Another thing that I'm unsure about is what the new maps are going to be like in this new format. Because there's a big opportunity to just ignore the new maps by a lot of players. If each player has 2 vetoes, it could be that we're going to see TH and AL veto the whole bunch.
Oh, I just realized that the abbreviation is TH, and
yeah, it's confusing.
Yep. Maybe we have to call him 3 eggs as well, or Ling 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 like the Chinese do. It's not that likely that we see him in any competition anytime soon, though. But yeah, 3 vetoes. I totally agree with you. We'll probably be vetoed, but if they play it on ladder as well, because on ladder there's no vetoes on netties, right? Yeah. So they have to play it there, and slowly but steady they will be introduced to the mix, which is definitely a good thing. Just like keeping Echo Isles.
Yep. That's awesome. I know. It's interesting that NetEase still, after all these years, doesn't allow vetoes on ladder.
Yeah,
I can understand that you want to kind of incentivize players to try the new maps, but it's not even incentivizing. It's forcing. It's forcing players to play on all maps, without exception. You don't even have 1 veto. You don't have 2 vetoes. You have 0. Like on War 3 Champions, we have 4 vetoes, and dude, like imagine if there's just 3 maps that are really terrible for your race, but you have to play them.
Yeah, and there's a penalty if you leave early, right?
Yes, exactly.
So you can't even dodge it that way. All right, we got our game, and this is Farseer Headhunters this time on Concealed Hill.
All right, we didn't see our map 1. We're going to see it here now. Farseer Headhunters, of course, all the rage recently. We see it in Orc Mirror a whole bunch. We see it in Orc versus Human a lot as well, where it's looking really good. We in Europe saw it revealed for the first time really triumphantly by Grubby against Happy, and it almost worked out to Grubby's benefit, but not quite. Nowadays, there's a lot of counters that Undeads have been able to find with Fast Fiends and so on. In fact, we saw the Fast Fiend opening build by PCG on map 1. So that probably means he was expecting Farseer Headhunters there, didn't get him, gets him now. And now we see from the Undead a Ghoul build this time around.
Yeah, this is super interesting. I didn't expect that at all. And maybe the same goes for Lin Guagua, because first Headhunter is already down. Sweet coil by PCG. He got that level 2. He still got 2 charges of Rod. 1 ghoul going down now, but they are kind of expendable. I think the focus fire is a little bit off for PCG at the moment, so Lin Guagua salvages this for now. There's a coil available, but wait a second. Hold that phone. DK is surrounded and has no staff, so TP out for 2 Headhunters. All of a sudden, this doesn't look too good anymore.
TP is waiting for the very last second. I guess there's fountains on this map. Oh, he wants to get the Headhunter.
Oh,
if he gets that, it's easily worth it.
He gets out. Oh, what was he? No, I thought for a second he's going to get out. Sweet move by Lin Guagua, who used the peons to block this here. Sometimes pros forget about that, and if they're mining gold, you can of course walk through them, but that wasn't the case here. Lin Guagua well aware. So cool, fun, action-packed early game.
Yeah, and I would say definitely favoring PCG. With those 3 Headhunters lost, it's going to be a lot slower creep speed for the Farseer, and more importantly, for the TC. Farseer, not that level hungry. The TC certainly is. So, how is this going to be played now by Mr. Lin Guagua? Are we going to see a tier 3 this time? Headhunters are decent, but only when they reach Berserker status are they actually really good.
Oh yeah, and then they're not too easy to kill with Nova anymore as well, so would be my advice as well, Coach Remo, to go for tier 3 this time. Also, it's a lot more fun for us.
Absolutely. And on tier 3 with a Shadowhunter 3rd, the Orc can keep up with the Undead. We saw very impressively last map, if the game goes too late on tier 2 against tier 3, you simply have no chance. So there's gonna have to be a big decision to be made here soon by Lin Guagua. He finds the Helm of Valor from the red camp, which is not the greatest. It's some decent tankiness for the TC, but it's no damage, it's no aura, so not the big one he was hoping for. But yeah, the decision that has to be made here by the Orc is either to tech or to expand, and he has to make that soon, and we actually see the tech coming in at the same time as the Creepjack from the DK and Lich. 2 potions on the DK. He's got lots of mana and HP to work with.
Oh yes. This is such a horrible weekend for me, man. Really good plays by PCG. But there was a creep going on the right-hand side with the ghouls to get that level. There was a tech in the meantime, and there was this creepjack. How well was this sequence by PCG? I will probably, like I never said this before, and I hopefully never will again, but that was super sweet, super well done. Both my thumbs up for PCG.
Yeah, he hasn't been messing around at all so far today. He's actually been playing really well. This was close to a perfect game. The TP force perhaps not that much, but he doesn't really need the TP now, does he? Buy potions, use Coil Nova, kill more Headhunters. 6 Headhunters died before Berserker upgrade. Normally, that's a death sentence for every Headhunter strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a tier 3 tech coming. He's trying to get back into this game, but TC levels are kind of low. Creeping, of course, takes forever now with only 3 Headhunters, and PCG is still hungry for more.
And he used the potion. These potions on the DK is so smart. Of course, expensive on tier 2, but if you can limit the Headhunter numbers, that is absolutely worth it to slow down the tempo of the Orc. Level 2 for the Lich at the perfect time for the Frost Armor. The DK, even if he gets surrounded, he's fine. He's got the Invul Potion. That's 2 more Headhunters down. 8 Headhunter kills this game.
Yeah, but now... Okay, 7 seconds safety, of course. Oh, he's just walking out like that. Lin Guagua trying to close this around again. Vanilla, but without Stomp. Doesn't really work, does it? Maybe against the tree line now. Lich is counter-blocking immediately, though. Oh, the wolf blocks again. And so the DK dies. So much for a perfect game.
Yeah, okay. Finally something going Lin Guagua's way. And don't get me wrong, that's a big move. Killing the DK3, which is going to force the Tavern revive, almost certainly. That was big. But there was actually the Skeletons killing 1 more Headhunter. That's 10 Headhunter losses. And that is more painful, quite a bit more painful than losing the DK ones.
Yeah, and I mean, everything that Lin Guagua got is Raider and Headhunters, right? So medium armor. I just looked at PCG's base. 1, 2, 3, 4, sacrificing 8 ghouls, and Frenzy is almost done.
And a bit of a desperate greed play here, it seems like, from Lin Guagua. He's going for the Expo, which can be a win condition. If this one stands for 3 minutes, he can win this game. And PCG, because of a macro mistake, is perhaps giving his opponent an opportunity, because the statue was really late. He forgot about the slaughterhouse for a long time. These statues should have been with him way sooner. So this game is not over yet.
Okay.
We have the 1 of mana steal for the DK, which is not bad at all. And this is not going to get scouted, as it seems. PCG not expecting this greedy expansion.
Ooh, yeah, I was about to say, is it greed or is it desperation on Lin Guagua's side? But yeah, maybe a mix of both. Also, PCG a little late with the next Ziggurat, so he can't even go up to 50. Ghouls still, of course, little tiny wrecking balls could clear this, but there's no scout going that way. That is horrible. 4 and almost 3 now, which is always great, of course. Maybe a little greedy by PCG to not go for another TP in the end, but you know, in hindsight, it's always easy to say. But he had great creep jacks before, and this looks like yet another one.
Could almost surround the Farseer right here, but he knows there's a TP. He wants to kill units. Instead, he's going to get 1 Raider, but only 1. Steals the last hit there with the Nova, and that gives the Lich level 3. You see the DK again with the Death Pact. And earlier I said, you know, it's a bit of safety because he had so much of a lead, but I think here it's really a big mistake. If you play Ghouls, I think you should always go Aura, even against the Blade Master.
Yeah.
Because if the Orc focuses on the DK, he's gonna die to the Ghouls. The Orc has no other choice but to kill the Ghouls. So the DK should be safe. But, well, it's a minor skill point. Perhaps it won't be making much of a difference, but it can. Suddenly, we have Lin Guagua with a supply lead, and he finds himself in a definitely winnable position this game.
Okay. We have a Wyvern as well, and there's no anti-air. He never built Fiends. He doesn't have Web. There's no Gargs. So the Dark Ranger and the Lich have to clean the air of the Wyvern pollution. Will that work out, though? He knows about the Expo now. But as you said, supply lead is with the Orc. He can't afford to lose the Peons. He can't afford to lose the Great Hall. How fast will he get rid of all this?
Invul again to quickly break out of the silence. Seems like the heal scroll here is going to be needed soon. Right now is the right timing, and perfectly used there by the Undead as well. PCG getting his ghoul stomped again. There's more mana on the TC. Silence is ready again, by the way. Nice 1 of mana steal against the TC. Doesn't have mana at the moment, but mana potion coming in, and now he's got the mana again. PC dropping down in supply quite a bit. The Dark Ranger in trouble. Long range coil seems to not be there. But the ghouls are killing quite a few of these berserkers.
Now without silence, how much can he do? There's Purge coming at the statue, so bye-bye. Another Stomp. DK kinda hurt, but yeah, Death Pact is there. Headhunters falling. Reinforcements are coming. Lin Guagua not forgetting about Makering during that fight. Raider very, very close to the heroes, and yeah, that's the end for him. No Stomp against the DK anymore, so he couldn't surround him. Raiders are all dead, so no crowd control anymore, but the Expo still up.
And dude, how this game has swung around. It was looking absolutely horrible for Guagua, but he does claw his way back. Well done with the expansion, which was certainly super greedy, but it does work out. And PCG, he did so many things so well, and then the little small mistakes cost him the game. Not scouting the Expo in time, having the statue way too late because of macro mistakes, and being, again, supply blocked, which was another macro mistakes. Those are the tiny little mistakes that cost him the game. His game sense was looking good, his micro was looking good, but scouting and macro cost him this game, because now this seems to be utterly unwinnable. It's such a big supply lead for the opponent. It's only dual hero on the Orc side, but strong heroes. Farseer is going to get level 4, and so is the TC, and especially these Stomps have been doing wonders.
Absolutely true. As the game calms down a bit, we got some time to thank our latest supporters. Owen, thank you very much for pledging on Patreon. Koi GG with a 3-month resub. Sexy Neo. Zico with a 41-month sub. Thanks for the herpes with a 4-month sub. Grive Power with a 2-month. You are the hammer, which is a German saying of you're awesome. 10shot gifting a sub. Much love. And John Junglebook, our Instagram model fan, with the €5. Here's a little present from the Easter Bunny.
Thank you guys all very much. Much appreciated. Zanolan also with 200 bits. There's still a win condition here possible for the Undead, and that is crazy hero levels, as it so often is for the Undead race. If the Undead here gets to 5, 4, 3 heroes, things are still possible. They're not going to be easy, because the opponent has an expansion and tier 3, but it might be possible. 2 units being picked off, but also one being caught here by Lin Guagua. He's attacking the Undead main, but it's only piercing damage, not that much siege, so taking out these buildings not too easy.
Yeah, maybe because on ladder he's playing so much Raider lane. This base is working like a magnet on him, and just, I have to go there sometime. It's calling me, it's calling me. Wyvern all down. Good focus fire by all heroes, and Destro's well calculated. But that's all he got, right? Destro's and the heroes.
Invul Potion dodges the Stomp right there. The Berserkers, when they have Berserk active and they're getting Nova, they could come find to his quick end. The Coil misses, the Dark Ranger goes down. A little bit of a misclick there. Lich in trouble as well. Has the Invul though. Also, that's level 4. It's a big level for the Lich, but no skeletons at the moment to eat. The Destroyers have all been taken out. They, of course, suffer from the piercing damage. Only 2 heroes left standing, the DK and the Lich. But those 2 can potentially hold in the main for quite a while. Chain Lightning being healed up against again. DK gets level 5. And we're starting to reach dangerous territory.
No statue anymore, though, and he's focus firing this Lich down. Who's next to the shop. He has only 100 gold. DK in trouble as well. That's the Stomp, and that's the end with the Chain Lightning. Gets the double kill. GG. And we have ourselves a series with the 1-1 score. We're down to a best of 3.
Good confidence booster there for Lin Guagua. The first map was painful, and the beginning of the second one was even more painful. But he fights his way back, where PCG gets punished for poor macro play. We don't see that too much, where just straight up macro costs you the game. And in this case, it was macro combined with scouting. Again, if you had the statue earlier, and if you had found out about the expansion earlier, he could have easily killed this. He could have run up there with 45 supply Frenzy Ghouls, 1 or 2 statues, and won the game right there. But you gotta scout, you gotta know what's going on, and even these top players sometimes forget.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I'm curious where this is going next. It was 2 very different games, so of course depending on the maps as well. Next map has already started, so in 2 minutes we're gonna join. Will it once again be the tier 2 style? Did he see, okay, this worked with the tier 3 now? Big question mark on PCG. Will he stick with ghouls after this? Will he go back to DK Fiends? There's a lot of variety coming in.
Yeah, ghouls can work out very well, but they're pretty hard to control in the fight. If you silence the TC, that's no guarantee that's going to protect the ghouls. You can just break out of it. And splitting them properly in this hectic fight is really hard to do. Unless your name is Happy, who's always got the perfect magnet in his hands to bounce around the ghouls around the army. Fiends is oftentimes a little more straightforward, but can suffer occasionally against the Farseer Headhunter build. It is a bit of mind games, a bit of rock, paper, scissors gambling in terms of opening builds. The best anti-Farseer Headhunter build is Fast Fiends. But if the opponent doesn't go for that and decides to go for Blade Master Standard instead, then Fast Fiends oftentimes seems rather underwhelming. So how well do these players know each other? How much are they willing to gamble? And who's going to take the match point? Those are the questions for map 3.
So many questions. We can just start it, and this is, I don't know how to answer all of this. Maybe just wait and see. That's the best approach, right? By the way, if you can't get enough of Back to Warcraft content, we have a lot of stuff for you guys lately when it comes to not tournament content. We have, of course, Carson's Theory Craft that you should definitely watch. It is Lin's approach to TC Headhunters this week, up on YouTube. Remo took the initiative and invited X-Lord, Starshaped, Spiral, and Death Note for a little talk about the PTR changes, the second iteration. That is up on YouTube. And myself and Bidu started a podcast as well, which is also up on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and Google, and of course available for our Patreons. So yeah, we're just creating more content in every single regard recently.
And the next game here is also going to be providing us the next bit of content on map 3. I'm really looking forward to the podcast, by the way. I wanted to check it out earlier, but didn't have enough time, so I'm probably going to take a little nap after the cast, and then check out the podcast. And I hope Ricky is gonna be as colorful as always.
I gotta say, in the second episode that is currently locked behind the Patreon paywall, I had to tickle him a lot, but being the great host that I am, eventually it worked, and we got the real Bidoo in the end. So, yeah, go for it, guys. Sign up, get the podcast. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, yesterday at the celebration, we saw a lot of the real Bidoo, especially during the games, a little more than my taste would prefer, potentially. Thank you, by the way, Pace with the 6 months, Drunk Support with the 2 months, says Neo and Remo, if I would be a woman, I did it too. We have Dreadlord first with an expansion.
Yeah.
That is wild. Here we go. PCG is online.
I was about to say, you said I hope we see the real Bidoo. This is the real PCG with unusual stuff that no one would really expect. So I wonder, is this just him clowning and cheesing, or is this some kind of a response to what the hell is he doing?
He's waiting for the Farseer to come around the tree line.
Are you
and then
kidding
sleeps
me?
around him.
This is an old, like, basically a Mad Frog move from 2003.
Oh, got him!
No way!
Oh, it's not closed. It's okay. He's got more attempts.
What?
He's got 3 sleeps. Yeah, that one's closed.
A blast from the past. Wolves are trying to fight him out, but nope. This is such a PCG play. Oh my god.
All right, now we've seen Cryptolord expansions a lot in the past. We've even seen DK expansions quite a bit on Echo Isles by 120. Dreadlord expansion, now that's pretty wild. Dreadlord, in my opinion, one of the worst heroes in the game.
Why didn't you buff it then?
Dude, I did actually think of a buff for the Dreadlord.
Oh my god.
What if the Aura gave the Dreadlord a version of Lina's Fiery Soul? You remember Lina from
I know
from
how
Dota?
she looks like.
Yeah, so Lina has a passive where whenever she uses a spell, she gets increased move and attack speed.
Ooh.
And the thing is, that wouldn't be OP because you could adjust the numbers, right? Like if you give 10% move speed and 20% attack speed, that's probably OP. But if you do 4% and 7%, maybe that's fine. If it's too weak, buff it up. If it's too strong, you know, nerf it.
So that would be working on the Dreadlord only or the entire army?
Oh yeah, only the Dreadlord. Oh, yeah.
Okay, was about to say, like, just to clarify, guys, just to clarify. Okay,
it would also give the undead sort of a, you know, right-click damage hero, melee hero.
Oh yeah. Please.
So sort of an idea, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, we got an expo up, and I wonder how Lin Guagua deals with this. It's once again grunts. It's a berserker early. But this expo is coming up without much damage. Also a tower, pretty much ready. But tier 2 is there for Lin Guagua. TC, Beastery. Curious to not see a second Beastery.
Farseer looking quite strong now. Surprised he's not going for that Shadow Priest. Against Sleep, that should be really strong.
Yeah, for Dispel, but maybe he thinks I can wake up everything with the Farseer and Berserker, but there's a little bit of time until you can do that, until the invulnerable stage is over. Not invulnerable, but you know what I mean. Yeah, more creeping, and high-level Dreadlord can be a force.
Yeah, at level 3 Carrion, he does start to do serious damage. The ult, of course, is amazing. His ultimate is the best undead ultimate by far, and one of the coolest as well.
Yeah, but there's barely competition, is there?
Yeah. That is unfortunately sadly true. The Crypt Lords is pretty good, but the Infernal is super poggies. Problem is, though, if you're facing a strong tier 2 orc army, or tier 2, any kind of strong tier 2 army, just Dreadlord and Ghouls usually gets completely annihilated. So we have full map control right now for Lin Guagua. He's setting up an expansion behind this, and this is going to be a bit of a stressful time right now for PCG. He wants to creep up, he wants to level, but he also wants to stay away from any kind of fight. And Lin Guagua, I would have expected him here to creep really aggressively. Yeah. Going for the marketplace seems rather conservative. He could have also tried to go for the Murlocs or even the enemy Merkin.
Is it right to power creep and counter expand, or should he push against the Dreadlord?
I think this is a decent attempt, even if the expansion gets cancelled. He's creeping, he's getting stronger, and he can just like power up to 50 supply. Even if this expansion gets cancelled, and it gets cancelled twice, just get 50 supply, get a heal scroll, and then you can even just fight into the undead towers, maybe, because then the orc is going to be super, super strong. But yeah, with creeping as he is endangering the expansion. In fact, it is going to be cancelled. The Dreadlord buys a TP to be able to get back as well. And he's got a heal scroll, which is going to be important. But it seems like PCG is still far away from being able to fight. And he's wisely getting towers. I think that's a good move.
Yeah, also that TP might need that now. Does a Fiend transition for now? Maybe afraid of Wyvern just to be safe. The position kinda gives that away as well. Trying to aim for the shop, which is smart. But can't really get it. Walkers now.
Lin Guagua has the same macro mistake now that we saw last game from the Undead. He forgot about the 4th burrow.
Oh.
The expansion getting cancelled is a very real possibility, but you always want to be able to get up to 50 supply. If he was at 50 supply right now, Lin Guagua would win any fight. But being at 40 looks a lot different. He's got 1 Walker, 1 Raider, 1 Berserker, and 2 Grunts. It's not that big of an army, whereas we have tons of Ghouls and a few Fiends as well from the Undead.
Here we go. He's trying to fight, nevertheless, with just 40 supply. TC Epicenter. Can he use the heal scroll? Yes, he can. No stomp on the Dreadlord. Has to use the TP soon, I guess. Yes, after this Carrion Swarm, he is. And I'm wondering, isn't Aura absolutely fantastic? Or is he rather aiming for a late game as he is transitioning to Fiends right now? Because 20% lifesteal on these Ghouls already, plus potentially Frenzy, that's a lot of lifesteal.
Yeah, also for A-bombs perhaps later would be really good.
Yeah.
But I guess it has to do with how he's skilled. You have to start with Sleep to be able to get the surrounds and creep the natural and stuff. And then you want to get damage from Carrion. On level 4, I would expect the Aura. And he's almost there.
Yeah. Ooh, getting surrounded here though. No TP on him. Oh, there is a TP on him. I'm blind. Wow. All the hair in front of my eyes, it makes it hard.
Yeah, that's the 3rd TP for the Dreadlord, right? The 3rd one that he bought.
Yeah.
He sold the 1st one and bought 3 more. But I suppose he's got lots of gold.
Okay, more creeping. That is level 4. DK got 0 experience in this exchange. Slaughterhouse is coming, more Fiends. As you said, the towers waiting for tier 3 and Frenzy. Doesn't want to lose more Ghouls because with Frenzy, they're just so much better. And there's so much gold as well, constantly scouting. So he's like, I got some time with this expo. It's only at 40%, 35 something. But we also got tier 3 from the Orc. It's finished now.
Cavalry Evasion. Not bad for these heroes. The Dreadlord and the DK are both going to be frontline tanks. We don't see the Aura, by the way. We see Sleep level 2, which is also understandable. Sleep actually scales really well. It becomes way lower in mana cost. And that means you can spam Sleep on the TC more and more and more. The TC is going to be the crucial part of the Orc army. So disabling him over and over is also going to be valuable.
Yeah, that's true. Especially when you don't have statues, mana is rather limited. But those are coming now. Still the potion, I like that. More and more creeping. A rather passive game, especially compared to the second one, where it was just brawling and fighting all over. Wyvern, again. Headhunters, again. No upgrades yet. Oh, 1,000 gold and 53 pop on PCG. Now doubled Slaughterhouse. This could be mass A-bombs after, and he buys a Tomb of Retraining then?
absolutely possible.
Players' forces are under attack.
I've not seen many of these Dreadlord expansion games before. Last one I saw was like Terna Stand 9 months ago or something.
Oh, yeah.
So this is not something we're too familiar with. And it's also something, of course, to be kept in mind here for these competitors. This is not something that Lin Guagua is so familiar with. He's certainly seen it before. He's certainly played against it before, but a lot less than against DK Standard and Cryptlord Expo.
For now, it looks like it's a lot of destroyers early. Goes for the 4th statue. Upgrade is coming. No moves towards A-bombs.
It's going to be a dangerous timing. Carrion, Coil, Nova, Frenzy Ghouls,
Yo.
Destroyers being morphed. It's going to be a lot of damage. PCG needs to make sure he's got some heal scrolls to counter the damage on his ghouls. But Undead shops do have heal scrolls, so he's going to make nice use of them. Oftentimes, Undead is the race that least needs the heal scrolls. But in this kind of game, with this kind of army, he certainly will.
A town is
Oh wait, he canceled the Lich.
Is he going for a Fire Lord?
There's a lot of good choices. Pit Lord's also good. Dark Ranger is unusual, but it would be
Pilo.
funny. Just sleep silence, sleep silence, sleep silence.
Yeah, Pit Lord would be good as well, and there we go.
All right.
Okay, having
3
another...
burly frontline tanks.
Yeah, when I was about to say, like, when do you ever see 3 melee heroes in a game? On one side.
Oh. And this is what I love to do as well on this map. You attack with your main army, and the ghoul gang is running into the main. Because, you know, the ghouls are just all gonna get stomped.
forces are under attack.
So we'll see how much damage they can do. We have Spirit Link applied on everything. Sleep coming in against the TC, but the first stomp is gonna hit decently, not completely crazy. The Pit Lord is dropping low HP right here. Healed scroll use. I think we only saw one. Pit Lord seems to be going down. Only level 1. He's not that tanky. The fight here seems to be going the Orc's way as the Pit Lord finally... Oh! Does not die quite yet. Now he will go down. We still have lots of mana on this Dreadlord. He's holding on to a lot of spells. Just sleep, sleep, sleep over and over. I wonder, where's the Carrion Swarm? Of course, we have to remember ghouls in the meantime in the main. So it's PCG trying to buy as much time here and delay him TPing out before too long. And he might actually win the fight right here, but he's always got the TP ready if he needs it. And now he will pop it. Takes out 1 more Headhunter, possibly even 2 more Headhunters. Loses some Fiends as well. The question is the ghouls in the main. What happened there? They killed a lot of peons, as it seems.
Wreaking havoc! There's not a single peon anymore. Did he save some? Doesn't seem like it. He's trying to get a stomp off for some more pickups, but they're too fast! Even without the Unholy or a Frenzy Ghouls, he barely gets a single kill! And this is a wasteland now.
They're so fast, it's crazy, dude. DC can't catch up. He's doing his best to get some kills, so he got 3 right there, which is decent. But boy, they did so much damage. Killed all the peons, killed like 3 burrows, and that's a absolutely crippling move to slow down the Orc economy. The Orc army, which was stronger a little moment ago, now has shrunk a lot. And the Undead can just keep on producing, and now would be a great time to add an A-bombs.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And we saw that fight. It was relatively close. And that was without 12, 14 supplier ghouls. Super sick. Okay, what do we get? Are we pimping this Pit Lord? Yes, we do. Level 1.6, so you can prepare for some cleave and old school undead versus orc destroyers with mana off into the base. There's a burrow left, but not much longer.
Players' forces are under attack.
Oh, that ethereal form walker was also kind of tempting.
Yeah.
Carrion Coil might have killed it. And now the Undead army realizes how strong it is, and it's zoning away the Orc army from the Frenzy Ghouls, which are killing peons and buildings. This is tactically really smart by PCG.
Oh, that Carrion Swarm hit hard! Hit the entire backline, long range, of course. Okay, so will the ghouls be part of this fight? One is, Stomp was okay. The Carrion is so crazy on level 3, as you foreshadowed already pretty early in this game. And that is PCG getting the lead with a Dreadlord. Style points to him.
Yeah, pretty cool. We see lots of different strategies here, lots of different builds by PCG. Starts off the series with a Fast Fiend, old school build, then goes into DK Ghouls, and then Dreadlord Ghoul Expo, where, of course, Echo Isles is the best map for that. You could argue perhaps Terranos, but One of those two. And honestly, if he had played game 2 a little more cleanly, this could have been a swift 3-0 for PCG. So far, he's definitely looking like the better player here.
Are you setting me up to say PCG is better than Lin Guagua? Are you really making...
You don't have to agree. I wasn't trying to bait you, but I think he's actually looking good.
Was about to say, are you trying to make my weekend even worse than it already is? But today, I have to agree. A lot of smart executions, a few flaws here and there, of course, but that goes for both sides, obviously. Like missing Ziggurats and Burrows before 50 supply and stuff, but it's a fun series. Goes back and forth. I wouldn't mind seeing a 5th game. 4th one is starting now, and once again, Lin Guagua's choice. He played it really well on CH. Let's see where this goes. Our sub counter is going up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Drunk Support, for the 2 months. Neo and Remo, if I would be a woman, I'd hit you too. And Großmal with a 20-month resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Of course, all our players here today in the top 4 in the playoffs will be moving on to the Pro Qualifier next month. Out of all the players in the Open Qualifier, there was one big favorite, which was Fly. But he didn't make it. He dropped out in Group Stage 2 really surprisingly, which I never would have expected. So it's going to be interesting to see how these players fare next week, or next month, rather, in the Pro Qualifier. You know, when I see these unnet performances from unnet players in China, there's always this Tier 2, Tier 3 kind of rank. I wonder if some of them can finally break through, finally make it to WFZ level, and maybe after that get close to 1-2-0 level. And there's been a lot of promising performances at times, but we never see that next breakout player. We never see that next unnet player from China making the next step. Yeah. So I'm still waiting for it. Still waiting after like 4 years or something. Maybe it's going to happen one day.
And the most promising prospect is 15 Sway. He did great in Todd's tag team, and he was the one eliminating Fly from this Open Qualifiers, and he will be in our second semifinal, so we will take very close looks at one of the youngest players in the entire scene. 15 Sway up next against Soen. But first we have to close out this series, of course. It is Lin Guagua against the Ropes. Might be eliminated here in the semifinal. PCG 1-2-3 aiming for the grand final with just one more map, which is Northern Isles. There's no bumper. We can talk. We have Farseer Headhunters once again by Lin Guagua, who's starting in the blue in the upper right. And Ted Fiends by PCG this time.
So that is the 4th different build in 4 maps, right?
Yep.
That is really rare to see from Undeads. So to make it a perfect 5 out of 5, next map he could go for a Cryptid expansion. But if he's not playing it here, I wonder why he would be playing it anywhere else. Northern Isles and Echo are really good for Cryptid expansion, and yeah, we haven't seen it. Last map should be Terranus or Turtle Rock, I believe.
Mm-hmm. We'll Turtle Rock would be
if
dope
we get there
in this matchup.
Forces are under attack.
Pimped heroes, lots of consumables. I wouldn't mind Turtle Rock over TS, but that's just me. No perch on the skeletons here, so this will be good. Taking some time to creep the hunts, not the huntsman, the flesh eater first. So not immediate aggression. PCG knows about this. Couple of headhunters, and will this lead to another disaster where he loses 10 headhunters in the early game, or will he keep them a little safer than Guagua?
Yeah, he must make sure to pay better attention to them. But at least, if you're not facing a ghoul opening, there's a lot lower chance of getting surrounded. But the skeletons making it behind the headhunters with the help of Aura, and then finding a block and then dying that way, that is definitely possible. So the Farseer is trying to prevent that level 2 on the DK as much as he can, and traps the DK in the back.
Ooh.
That's going to lead to a lot of damage on the Death Knight, and I think a bit of a mistake by PCG maneuvering into this position. And oh my god, he just barely gets out. Oh, that was so close. He's probably going to get the last hit as well with the coil and get the level 2. but he lost almost all of his HP.
Oh yeah, this screams for a ritual dagger afterwards. I thought for a second he's coming in with the Headhunter and blocks, but not that pro level yet. Qualfiier did get something, but not the Murloc. Right? I think, yeah, the DK got level 2.
DK guy was really close. The Farseer almost got that last hit. Would have been kind of a disaster for PCG. He's been playing a really good game so far, a really good series. But the early game execution here of the DK was a little too reckless. With him being so low HP now, this is basically free reign for the Headhunters for the next 3 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not what you want as the Undead.
No, no, no. Fiend is also at 50%. Not too much pressure on these Headhunters. Tech is almost done. Yeah, how do you get out of that right now? What can you do? Where can you creep?
Yeah, it's also kind of a difficulty for Undead on this map, which just makes it a pretty good Farseer Headhunter map. You cannot creep level 3 too easily. Earlier on Concealed, we saw the DK got level 3 fast, and with level 3 DK, aka level 2 Nova, and Lich, you can hunt down Headhunters very quickly on tier 2. But now, we see PCG a bit in the dark. Sentry wards beautifully placed outside the main. Lin Guagua probably finding the best item right there with the sentries.
That is absolutely wonderful. We got one of mana stealing again. Can be decent for a TC especially. We've seen this a lot today. This item not used to the max yet, but still not too bad. Headhunters are getting ready for a little bit of a creeping game with that sad TC. Sharking around again, trying to find PCG. Not happening though. Ah, there we go.
DK losing more HP. This is again gonna force him really low HP. Is he gonna get the last hit? Yes, he will. And the item, he's trying to pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh, clicking, clicking, clicking. But he's gonna have to TP here now. And that is problematic. It's gonna be hard for him to move out on the map after this, especially because it's a Shadow Hunter this time. So the Focus Fire with the Hex is gonna be a real danger.
Didn't expect that. Lin Guagua so far, 3 out of 3 TCs. Not bad. Switching things up as well. But PCG trying to be aggressive once again with a pretty hurt DK. He has that Lich. What power spike does he think he hits now? Maybe he saw the 2 Headhunters and thought, hey, I really, really want them? Or he just wants to contest the map? Or the middle of the map?
Yeah, he thinks he's going up against level 1 TC with either Aura or level 1 Stomp, neither of which is dangerous. But level 1 Hex is really dangerous.
Yo!
Yep, we see it there, and that Fiend is gone. No way to save it. You could speed scroll and get another Fiend.
Oh, baby. Another Hex, but the Headhunters are trailing behind. That could have been way worse here. Here they are, trying to block the Lich, but that shouldn't be a kill. It's full mana DK. But yeah. Hex on the Fiend, can use it again. And now the Headhunters are in range. And that is probably another kill. Now the Wolf blocks. And now that's the second Fiend. Losing 2 Fiends in the early mid-game, I know that feel.
Yeah, that's a disaster. That is super painful. Also, we have PCG stuck on tier 2 while the opponent is taking to tier 3 with a big advantage. And if the Orc lands on tier 3 with a big advantage, that normally means one thing, that is Tiny Great Hall, and that's the win condition. So this game became really easy for Lin Guagua, and a map 5 is looking very likely.
Oh yeah, give it to me. More Warcraft. We have another Hex. We're going for that. DK now as there's no TP anymore. Chain Lightning. Here we go. And the Toothpick secure the win. Pretty easy victory for Lin Guagua.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something I think we've been seeing a lot recently in Meisterschaft and other tournaments. If you make mistakes early game and you fall behind against Headhunters, it can spiral out of control really fast. Yo! Normally, Headhunters against Undead don't seem that good anymore on the top level, but Northern Isles is a good map for it because the DK has such a tough time leveling to 3 if he's under pressure. But if you make mistakes, if you lose all but 100 HP on the DK, and lose all map control, even against Undead, this style can be really good. I'm kind of surprised that PCG made that error there, because we saw some mistakes by him, macro and scouting and so on, but his straight up control was looking very solid. Here he made a mistake, with the DK positioning, with losing all that health. And he got punished for it, but he also assuredly knows why he lost that game and will make sure he doesn't make that mistake again for the decider.
Indeed. Can we start WGL qualifier playoffs better than with a full-out best of fives with lots of variety in the strategies and cool plays? I don't think so. So now there's a little bit of a question. What is the map? TS? TR? We'll see in a minute.
If it's TS, Cryptload expansion is absolutely possible. That's the one build PCG hasn't shown so far. On Turtle Rock, that's not going to happen. That would be suicidal. So, yeah. We'll see how it goes. If he has another unique build prepared. Could be AZ as well, but that would be greatly surprising. That is normally always vetoed by the orgs. We're going to find out in about a minute.
Correcto. As we're waiting for the watch function to unlock this game for the public. In the meantime, you can check out our Patreon. We have a Patreon, by the way. Didn't we mention we have a Patreon, Remo? I don't think so. We have a Patreon.
We have a Patreon. We revealed it yesterday. We have 6 different tiers. You guys can come join us and pitch in if you want, ranging from tomato to the golden goat. There's lots of fancy little perks, from movie and TV music recommendations to coaching to custom game evenings. Check it out, patreon.com/back-to-Warcraft. Yesterday with the 100,000 follower celebration stream, revealed it, had a lot of fun with all of you guys, and we're hoping to see a lot of you there soon.
Absolutely. And we have a game as well, and it is AZ, Remo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lin Guagua probably vetoed. Well, it could have been TS or TR, honestly. Could have been both. That's interesting. Okay. This is a really bad map for standard, for Orc. So I think PCG should just straight up play DK Fiends. He's going to be heavily favored in that case on this map.
DK. And this looks like DK Fiends indeed. Lin Guagua, what's your play? Farseer again, of course, it's fast level 2. And then maybe it is base harass with Wolves and Chain Lightning. Try to go for the Echoes, then Raider Lane. But on this map, I don't know, man. It's so small. You can easily keep track of your opponent. But there's also an easily accessible Zeppelins. Maybe we'll see that. Lin Guagua must have something prepared for this. Winner of this map goes into the grand final.
Yeah, he's gonna need some ingenuity here. Farseer or Blade Master, I'm not even sure what's better here. They're both really hard. If you play Blade Master standard, it's so tough to get proper Shadowhunter creeping, and TC third creeping is basically impossible in AZ.
Yeah.
But when we see a Farseer, normally that means you have to expand. And that's also really hard on AZ. So, as you can see, options are rough for Orc on this map. But still, Lin Guagua thought it was better than the alternatives. Nice Acolyte pull here, really well done. Prevents the Lightning Shield, gets the Green Camp involved. And the Farseer is not able to do anything.
Already in trouble. PCG. Great start after being kind of smacked on Northern Isles. Great recovery here. He knows, okay, this map is probably going to be mine. And yeah, the Farseer's progress stopped immediately. What to do now? Where to go?
Yeah, if PCG had been ambitious, he would have gone for the Troll Camp in the middle. If you're sure that the Farseer isn't going to engage into the camp, you can do that. But he wanted to make sure the Farseer isn't going to be too bold and going to go for the camp after all, despite the Acolyte messing it up, sort of. So PCG playing a safe early game. It's a bit of experience here for the Farseer, but I like this opening by PCG. Until you have 2 Fiends out, the Orc creeps a lot faster. So PCG is trying to prevent all creeping until he gets the Fiends, and then probably he's going to try to start creeping himself.
Here they go. With the first Fiend, he's moving out. Just to contest this a little. And Lin Guagua is running in circles, but he's not doing anything. He's trying to heal, but the... Oh, I was about to say the skeleton control is really good, but he kind of missed it. Still gets the healing self cancel.
It's also kind of annoying. This grunt is missing 135 HP. That is a good bit of HP. But you never want to use a heal cell for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like half value, not even. One third, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather 1/3. DK.
Oh, the DK, is he hiding around the tree line?
Ah,
That could have been cool.
Well, he did that on Echo Owls already. Twice in the series. Maybe a little too much.
And that grunt that was low HP earlier, suddenly he's really low HP. But you know, silver lining, Neo, at least now the heal self is worth it.
Yeah, always look on the bright side, right? True that. Fiend is shocking around with the skeleton, so he can cancel that again if Lin Guagua was applying the heal self early, which is not the case, and there's not too much damage on the DK with that one wolf, so early game clearly at PCG. Second Fiend out now, third Fiend out now, and tier 2 almost done. Or third Fiend coming, rather.
Alright, we have the TC this time. No Shadowhunter pure hero focus play here. Really aggressive play by PCG. I like this, dude. I love playing aggressive against Orc as well. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. That worked out wonderfully, for sure. If he plays your build with early Banshees, that would be something. If you start coasting PCG, I'm ending this relationship, by the way. Can't bear this.
Dude, he just killed the... Did you see that? He killed the cage.
Yep. Free the people.
Dude, that is the most creative BM I've ever seen. And he's also delaying the Lich by a lot. We have the Halls of the Dead and the Slaughterhouse before the Lich.
Maybe he wants Aura first, not share experience for a while. Maybe go for the lab for the full level 2.
He's also not even buying new Rod. This is looking quite greedy over here, but it is working out so far. The Farseer is still not level 2. The TC now comes in, but TC should be able to creep up now pretty well with the Aura. But PCG still wants to be a nuisance.
6 minutes in. All heroes level 1.
A player's forces
This is a rarity. Rarely see this, but we also see this matchup not too often on this map. More focus fire for the Fiends, always on the Farseer. That looks pretty good. And now the Lich is coming halfway to tier 3, so when he spawns, he can pick up the orb immediately.
Could have honestly had that a lot earlier. He had 800 gold before he started the Lich. So, macro again, a little slipping. But of course, he had to focus on the middle. DK would love to get the last hit on the big Taskmaster. But there's no way that should happen.
a player's
Oh, he was at 100 a second ago. He regened back up to 101. Oh my god. Oh, and he gets it.
Oh no! That was sloppy by Guagua, right?
Yeah, I think the Raider wasn't in range to attack with the rest, so that's why the DK got it. Yeah, that's a little sloppy.
Okay. Tier 3 finishes pretty much perfectly for the Lich. There we go. Orb, and that was a big steal. Goes for his own Taskmaster now. Bashes out a few... Dashes out a few bashes. And now we go into a little bit of a creep game after this stressful harass early. And Lin Guagua, what's your play? Still tier 2, only Raiders? This army doesn't look intimidating at all.
DK finally with the aura here now. Well, not yet, but in a second. And again, the Ziggurat is missing. And that means, again, no third hero can be bought for PCG for quite a while.
Nice scout by PCG instead. He sees the peon, sees the natural creep. And now, oh, would you love to have a third hero and push, but that's not the case. Gloves of Haste, Circlet, nice item so far. And there is a Temple of the Damned.
Interesting. Now, I am a big fan of Banshees, as you know, Neo. That shouldn't come as a surprise.
I know.
But they are mostly great against Blade Master. Against Farseer, against Wolves, it's okay. Banshees are never banned. They're never bad. But the thing is, against Farseer, normally you want to have Destroyers. And being able to afford Destroyers and Banshees is really tough. When the game goes late and you go towards 60, 70 supply, then certainly. But early on, around 50 to have both is a little bit hard to afford. There was enough lumber actually for PCG to do this. He's got the Destroyer form upgrade already. He is getting the statue, but he's also going to need a third hero. Skeleton towards the middle. That should then be the Dark Ranger.
Okay, there's no Dispel, of course, on the Orc side with this build so far. Dark Ranger it is. So he can't get rid of Curse if that's applied. And it would totally be a PCG play if he somewhat makes it to Master Banshees and starts to steal Kodos.
Yeah, that would be absolutely massive. That would probably be a game winner right there. First Stomp comes out only on illusions though.
Oh boy.
Lin Guagua kind of fell for it. At least the illusions go down fast. But that was the needed kill. And he eats the next illusion as well. Dude, great illusion control here by PCG. Lin Guagua totally fell for it. And now we have the level 2 coil to work with. TC one more stomp. That one has to land big time. And it does. But now he's out of mana.
What do you coil, Lich or Fiend? It is the Lich going for safety and the Burrow as there is no dust. He could send something to the lab. Tries to get the Destroyer. There's a coil. Gets the illusion back. Second Destroyer survives. Fiend is also being burrowed. Good control here once again. And Lin Guagua's army is suffering hard. Block by Headhunter and Skeleton. So that Raider goes down. Almost no control in this army anymore. Another grunt. Disastrous fight for Lin Guagua. And there wasn't even a single Banshee in.
Yeah, the Expo also isn't finished. It could be cancelled. In fact, it is cancelled early by the Orc.
Yes.
Good fight by PCG. Not perfect, but especially well done with the Wand of Illusion. That Wand of Illusion half won the fight for him.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
One for the highlight reels, for sure. But should you fall for it so hard? Maybe a little stressful situation right there. Cloak of Shadows. Slippers on the Dark Ranger. Remo, do you want to comment on that real quick?
Nice. Nice. Yesterday on Northern Islands, I also gave the slippers instantly to the Dark Ranger. Did you see?
Yes, of course, of course. Min-maxing on the Dark Ranger, your pet peeve. And more skeleton.
Plus 3 damage, Neo. That's plus 3 damage. That's more attack speed. And it's 0.9 armor, bro.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Bro, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, that can change games.
Dude, do you remember 2011 when we thought agility heroes are OP and they dominate the meta? Well, honestly, they kind of did
They
back then.
kind of did, yeah.
And then the Agi got nerfed, and how all the orcs whined. Oh, it was glorious.
Here's the Banshee. Take it.
Curse on the Raiders, but it's not like they're doing the most damage anyways. TC's doing his best with the stomps, but where's the damage, Neo? Where's the damage? He needs a Ring of Royal Grandeur or something.
This won't happen. GG! PCG defeats Lin Guagua in 5 maps. And that was a cool series to start the day with. Lots of variety, good fights, fun actions, destroying cages. Nice action all in all, and no clowning around too much by PCG. I mean, the Dreadlord play was kind of cheeky, but it worked out wonderfully with that level 5 and the level 3 Carrion Swarm. So we got a lot variety here, and I wonder what's next in store for us. Of course, match-wise, it is 15 Sway versus Soin, and the winner will face PCG afterwards. So I would say we take a little break, and then we'll right back with the second semi-final. And in the meantime, feel free to check out our brand new Patreon at patreon.com/backtowarcraft, or check out our brand new podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast, or Audible, or maybe even Deezer. I enabled that. I'm not too sure if they approved it yet. But yeah, give us 5 stars, comment on it, upvote us everywhere, follow everywhere. You got a lot of stuff to do in this break. See you in a bit.